This is the OTB Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Choruses. I'm Jean Wood. We've got a busy program for you, and we're going to kick things off in South Florida with Saturday's stakes race, the Office Queen from Calder, $100,000, a mile and a 16th. Let's head down to Florida and the running of the Office Queen.
And they're off in the Office Queen Stakes. Toward the inside, Tis a Dancer breaks sharply with a Lark and a Dove moving up to the outside. Special Report further out, Lady in a Red Dress. 2 lengths back to the rail, it's Adobe Gold. The early trailer is the gray American Miss. They move into the clubhouse turn with a Lark and a Dove showing the way, a length and a half. To the outside, Special Report is settled in second at the rail. Tis a Dancer right there third. A length to the outside, Lady in a Red Dress. A half length to the rail, Adobe Gold. A length and a half, American Miss. They went the first quarter in 24 and 3. They straighten out for the run up the backstretch, and it's a Lark and a Dove in front by a length. Special Report right there second, length and a half to the inside. It's Tis a Dancer. Half length to Lady in a Red Dress. Another half length to the rail, Adobe Gold. American Miss trails about 4.5 off the lead. They continue up the backstretch to the half-mile pole. They went the half in 50 and 1. With the lead, it's a Lark and a Dove, a half length. On the outside, it's Special Report, a length back to Tis a Dancer. At the rail, Adobe Gold moves up a closer fourth. Half length to the outside, Lady in a Red Dress. 2 lengths back, American Miss. There's 3 furlongs to go in the Office Queen Stakes. A Lark and a Dove trying to make every pole, and winning one, leads by a length. It's Special Report in second position. Lady in a Red Dress toward the outside. Tis a Dancer is next, and at the rail, it's Adobe Gold. 2 lengths, American Miss. They went 3 quarters and 1:15 and 2. They're at the top of the stretch now. A Lark and a Dove still there by a length. Down the middle of the track, Lady in a Red Dress trying to split horses. Adobe Gold looks for room. Tight quarters there. They come past the 16th pole now. On the outside, it's Lady in a Red Dress reaching the lead. To the inside, a Lark and a Dove, then Adobe Gold. It's Lady in a Red Dress in front. Adobe Gold will be up for the place. A Lark and a Dove was third in the Office Queen.
Lady in a Red Dress getting the victory here, but it took a while to make the race official due to a disqualification and a steward's inquiry into the running of the stretch. Adobe Gold did cross the finish line second. She was disqualified and moved back to 6th and last after causing starting the eventual pattern that led to Tis a Dancer ending up dropping Abdel Toribio on the course at towards the end of the race. Fortunately, Abdel Toribio was unhurt. Tis a Dancer did end up clipping heels in the incident when Adobe Gold bore into her rather dramatically. As a result, a Lark and a Dove ends up moving up into the second spot. American Miss gets credit for the third spot with an off-the-pace rallying move. The winner, a Lady in a Red Dress, gets her first stakes victory. She is a 3-year-old chestnut daughter of Tactical Advantage from Nizzy by Cox's Ridge. Bred in Florida by Jack Cerbetter Farm and owned by the breeder, trained by Jim Hatchett, and ridden to victory by Julio Garcia. Lady in a Red Dress covers the mile in a 16th at Calder in 1:48 and 3. We're going to continue with stakes racing action now at Delaware Park in the running of the Brandywine, a $100,000 event for older horses on Saturday. Let's head to Delaware and the running of the Brandywine.
And they're off in the Brandywine Handicap. Adadage toward the inside away well. Private Lap also right there. Up on the outside, Loving. No one in a real hurry in the early going. Donald's Pride selling off the leaders in 4th under a stout hold. Max Forever has the inside, followed by Houston's Prayer, and the late running Country Big Old is at the back. As they make the way into that first turn, and on the front end, it's Private Lap, though, going easily, leads it by about a neck. Loving is right there, keeping him company on the outside in second. Then a gap of about 3 lengths. Adadage is now settled back into third. Donald's Pride up on the outside of Max Forever. 2 lengths further back to Houston's Prayer and a gap of 3 more to Country Be Gold. Opening quarter in 24-1 as they move down the backstretch. And Private Lap and Loving are side by side. They've got 3 lengths on Added Edge, who's going smoothly in third. Donald's Pride a length further back on the outside. Max Forever has the rail. 2 lengths to Houston's Prayer, and Country Be Gold is about 8 lengths off the lead as they approach the half-mile marker. Half in a comfortable 48-1 for this group as they make their way into the turn. Private Lap on the inside by a half. Loving is still right there in second. Added Edge is now a closer third. And right up alongside Donald's Pride. Now Country Be Gold making a 3-wide move. Max Forever and Houston's Prayers, they begin to bunch up as they make their way around the bend. Private Lap and Loving are still going at it head to head. 2 lengths to Donald's Pride trying to kick in. Country Be Gold is 4 wide. Down toward the inside, Max Forever and Added Edge as they head for home. It's Private Lap and Loving still side by side. Donald's Pride down toward the inside, Added Edge is trying to come back. 3 across the track, a furlong to go. Private Lap with the rail, Loving between horses. Donald's Pride, those 3 heads up over the 16th to go. Private Lap is coming back, Loving is there, and Donald's Pride, Private Lap, Loving. Donald's Pride is resurgent. It's going to be a hit move. They couldn't separate them. Maybe Loving. It's tight with Private Lap on the inside, inseparable for 6 furlongs. Donald's Pride up on the outside third.
Loving getting the victory here by a head in a game effort. He and Private Lap, who is a true horse for course at Delaware Park, hooking up and going at it pretty much throughout. It was only a nose back to Donald's Pride back in the third spot. Race may have actually been a little bit short for Loving, who did win the Gallant Fox at 1 mile and 5/8 a couple of races back. He's been heading in against some pretty tough allowance, and High Claiming Company did miss the board in the Excelsior a couple of races back, but he is a very hard-hitting imported horse. He is an 8-year-old gelded son of Thundering Force from Eastern Eagle by Kigrandi. If the pedigree does not sound familiar, it is because he is a Brazilian bred. He was bred by the RS Kigrandi in Brazil. He is owned by Sanford Goldfarb and trained by Richard Dutrow Jr. Ridden to victory by Mario Pino. Loving covers the mile in a 16th at Delaware in 1:43.1. We're next going to take a look at a pair of stakes races from Saturday at Monmouth Park, beginning with the Revideer for 3-year-old fillies going a flat mile. Let's head down to the Jersey Shore in the running of the Revideer.
Racing in the Revideer. Marlebon stumbled coming out of the gate. Rodeolicious is going to the front. Fall Fashion away second. Marlebon is third as they race for the first turn, and she'll be taken back by Velez just off the pace setters as Menafique saves all the ground in fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Mista trails the field. It is Rodeolicious and Fall Fashion 1-2 round the first turn. They're 3/4 of a length apart, and they're 3 clear of Marlebon, who's in third after a quarter in 23-1. A solid opening tempo. It's 6 lengths back to Menafique and Mista, who are together in the back with 5 furlongs to run. Rodeolicious and Mike Leslie on the lead. Fall Fashion kept close by Stuart Elliott. Second, 2 clear of Marlebon, who's third by another 2.5 lengths. Then it's Menafique and Mista. They're catching up a bit. Mista still 5.5 lengths behind the pace setter. A 46 2/2 mile into the far turn, and Rodeolicious and Fall Fashion continue to race a neck apart. 2.5 to Marlebon outside of Menafique. Mista is now making a move between those two, and Mista quickly is gaining ground. She's into third, and she's heading up for the leaders right now. Mista and Jose Ferrer uncorking a big run here. She's taken the lead at the top of the stretch and done it impressively. Mista turning for home 1.5 lengths in front. Fall Fashion is second, then Menafique, and Rodeolicious has dropped right out of it. She is last. Mista and Jose Ferrer, they meant business today. Mista 5 lengths in front of Menafique, then Fall Fashion and Marlebon. Mista has won the Revideer, wrapped up by nearly 5 over Menafique and Fall Fashion.
Mista getting the victory here by 4 1/4 lengths. Another New York shipper heading down to the Jersey Shore, successfully rallying from well off the pace to finish 4+ lengths at the better of Menafique, with Fall Fashion, who gave chase in the early going, finishing in the third spot. Rodeolicious, another New York shipper, was the favorite, showed good early speed before fading to finish 5th and last. The winner, Mista, a Greyer-Roan 3-year-old daughter of Runaway Groom from Tanuki by Affirmed, was bred in New York by the Addition Farm. Owned by Casper, Scuderi, Jocelyn, and Gargano. Trained by Richard Dutrow Jr. and ridden to victory by Jose Ferrer. Mista covers the flat mile in 1:36.4. We're going to continue with racing for Monmouth with the running of the Battlefield on the Monmouth Turf Course, a $60,000 mile and an eighth on the grass for older horses. Let's head back down to New Jersey in the running of the Battlefield.
Racing in the Battlefield Stakes. Run to Victory is going to the front. American Freedom on the inside, out okay. Then it's Megantic away in third, followed by Del Mar Show, and Better Talk Now is next. Final Prophecy will lag behind in the early stages, 8 lengths off the lead, and American Freedom is setting the pace with Run to Victory, and they're in no hurry up front. It's American Freedom, 3/4 of a length in front. Run to Victory second on the outside. Megantic is pulling hard and wants to go early in third. The first quarter, 24 3/5 seconds. Del Mar Show is fourth into that turn, and he's racing 3 lengths off the lead, followed by Better Talk Now and Final Prophecy, 6 lengths off of American Freedom, who scampers around the clubhouse turn with a 3/4 length advantage. Run to Victory, mild pressure on the outside. He's second as they enter the backstretch. Megantic is still bottled up in third. Del Mar Show fourth and just to the outside, keeping Megantic pinned in. Better Talk Now and Stuart Elliott moving 3 wide up the backstretch. And then comes Final Prophecy, a half mile, very slow here in 49 4. And now Joe Bravo is edging Del Mar Show up to the leaders. American Freedom by ahead. It's Run to Victory second. Del Mar Show got closer. Now he's backed off a bit. He's 2 lengths off the lead and waiting. On the inside comes Megantic, and there goes Better Talk Now. And Better Talk Now and Del Mar Show are going to move together, and they're going to move to the front right now. A 4-wide move from Better Talk Now. Del Mar Show going with him. Run to Victory. American Freedom trying to fight back. And then Megantic. It is Better Talk Now at the 8th pole. Del Mar Show and Megantic on the outside. These 3 coming through the stretch. Megantic, under a full head of steam, has taken the lead and has won the Battlefield Stakes by 2 lengths. Better Talk Now was second best under the wire. Then it was Del Mar Show and Final Prophecy.
Megantic getting the victory here, a former Bill Mott horse pulling off an upset over Del Mar Show, a current Bill Mott trainee who was getting up there in years, perhaps lost a step off of some of his better form. Here got into pretty good position at the top of the stretch, but faded as Better Talk Now was able to get the better of him for the second spot in the Battlefield. Megantic gets the length and a half victory, however. Megantic, a 6-year-old bay son of Theatrical from Jade Flush by Jade Hunter, bred in Kentucky by the late Alan Paulson, owned by Runnin' Horse Farm and trained by Norman Pointer. Ridden to victory by Julian Pimentel, Megantic covers the mile and an eighth on the turf in 1:48 2. We're going to head next to Thistledown in the running on Saturday of the Grade 2 Ohio Derby. $350,000 on offer for 3-year-olds. Let's head to Thistledown now in the running of the Ohio Derby.
And they are on their way, 70th running of the Ohio Derby, a beautiful beginning. Avid Skier, the long shot, will make early pace, and so is Jandamar forwardly placed, and Limehouse tucks in right behind them. Pollard's Vision didn't get off the rail. He'll have to settle for that second flight, running up to be a close-up third. Trieste Sauna, Russell Bays has him tracking beautifully in fourth outside of the front pair. Come back behind that to Water Cannon, who's racing sixth. Here's Mumbo Train on the inside rail, black colors, 5 lengths off the lead. And the back markers at the moment are Brass Hat and Dashboard Drummer. They make their way through the clubhouse turn. It's a steady looking pace at the 6 furlong marker, 23 2, a fairly sensible fraction set by Avid Skier. The 2 long shots are on the lead. Outside of him is Jandamar. Good stalking third and clear sailing for Limehouse now. He's relaxed, only a length off the lead in third. Then comes Pollard's Vision. He's managed to get off the rail and made room inside of that for Limehouse. Trieste Sauna in that group as well. Come back behind that to Water Cannon. Now picking it up is Dashboard Drummer. The back mark is still Mumbo Train, and trailing is Brass Hat. The half in 47 1. Trieste Sauna, the first to challenge the long shot Avid Skier. Pollard's Vision is there. It looks as if Limehouse is going to have to weave through traffic. He's hard ridden at the moment. Outside of that, Dashboard Drummer. Trieste Sauna is on the lead, and Pollard's Vision is right up his throat latch to challenge. Outside comes Brass Hat. Everybody else has dropped back. Limehouse is in deep water as they turn for home. Pollard's Vision cocks his head to the side and makes for the line, but Brass Hat answers right back. And Brass Hat, winner of the Rushaway, is on the lead in the Ohio Derby at the 16th pole, and they're not going to get to him. Everybody else is toiling in his wake. Brass Hat, Willie Martinez, wins the Derby from Pollard's Vision, Trieste Honor, and 4th place goes to Dashboard Drummer.
It looked going in like it was Todd Pletcher's race to lose, and unfortunately that is what happened as Brass Hat rallies from last to first to pick up his first graded stakes victory. In fact, he was winless since having broken his maiden at Bombs Away prices in the Rushaway at Turfway Park earlier on this season. Had been on the turf a couple of times in the interim, now moves back to the main track at 21-1 odds, draws clear by 3. Over Pollard's Vision, the 17th place finisher in the Kentucky Derby, returning off of that disappointing effort. Trieste Honor, who gave early chase, stalking 3 wide early, did fade to finish 3rd. Very disappointing was Limehouse. Limehouse had went off as the even money favorite. He was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, and really disappointed here after being placed fairly forwardly throughout in the early going, faded and finished 6th in the field of 9. The winner, Brass Hat, is a 3-year-old bay gelding, a son of Prized from Brassy by Dixie Brass. He was bred by Fred F. Bradley in Kentucky. He is owned by the breeder and trained by William Bradley, ridden to victory rather by Willie Martinez. Brass Hat covers the 1 1/8 of the Ohio Derby in 1:49 and 4. We're going to head north of the border now to Woodbine in the Toronto area for the running of the Labatt Woodbine Oaks. Canadian-bred 3-year-old filly is going for $500,000. Let's head to Canada now in the running of the Oaks.
They're off in the Labatt Woodbine Oaks. Eye of the Sphinx broke sharply, taken in hand by Cable in the early going. To the outside, Hong Kong Dancer, Pimentel trying to get her to relax as they move in front of us for the first time. And Silverbird has control of the fence. In behind runners, My Vintage Port, and to her outside is Touch Now as they run through the clubhouse turn. Eye of the Sphinx is in the center. Through an opening quarter in 23 and 3, Hong Kong Dancers wide through the turn. Silverbird gets aggressive at the rail, comes on at the 3/4 pull to take over the lead. Now it's Silverbird as they start that journey along the backstretch. Eye of the Sphinx is in between horses. Hong Kong Dancer stays within range, out there 3 wide, a length and a half off the lead. Then last year's 2-year-old filly champion, My Vintage Port. She's back 4th, has 3 lengths to make up, and has Touch Now to her outside. A tight group of 3-year-old fillies along the backstretch. The opening half mile was in 48 and 1. Jim McElhaney and Silverbird take these fillies to the far turn. Eye of the Sphinx is right at the saddle cloth of Silverbird with less than 3 furlongs to go in the Labatt Woodbine Oaks. Hong Kong Dancer has been wide throughout, and Eye of the Sphinx is making her move and has taken charge. But Touch Now comes on strong between runners as they hit the quarter pole. It is Eye of the Sphinx. Touch Now is being roused to the flank of Eye of the Sphinx. Cable is asking Eye of the Sphinx now. Touch Now is on the outside. Patrick Husbands urging her on, left-handed, now right-handed, but Eye of the Sphinx is too good. It is Eye of the Sphinx in the final 16th of a mile, the overpowering winner of the Labatt Woodbine Oaks, and she remains undefeated. Touch Now second, and My Vintage Port third.
Eye of the Sphinx runs her record to 4 for 4, and her last start was her closest win, if you will. This time, however, sits just off the early pace. She was prominent right from the start. Did actually relinquish the lead before re-rallying to win by 4 1/4 lengths over Touch Now with My Vintage Port back in the 3rd spot after a stalking trip. The winner, Eye of the Sphinx, is a bay 3-year-old filly, a daughter of Smart Strike from Queen of Egypt by Vice Regent. Bred in Ontario by the Samson Farm, owned by the breeder and trained by Mark Frostad. Ridden to victory by Todd Cable, Eye of the Sphinx covers the 1 1/8 at Woodbine in 1 minute, 53 seconds flat. We're going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at a very busy day at Churchill Downs on Saturday. Please stay tuned.
This year, many thoroughbreds, no longer able to compete, will join the ranks of racing's homeless. Since 1982, The Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation and its supporters have been providing help and hope for those in need, creating opportunities where once there were none. The TRF, together with the racing industry, is meeting the challenge, taking care of their own. Yesterday's innovative concepts, combining the TRF's rescue mission with educational and rehabilitation goals, have become today's life-saving success stories and a track record of unsurpassed growth. Safely retired thoroughbreds are now enjoying second careers, bringing responsibility, healing, and purpose to the lives of those who need it most. With your help, we can continue our saving mission, ensuring many more horses the welcome home they so richly deserve.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. Arguably the second biggest day, or perhaps the third if you count Kentucky Oaks Day, at Churchill Downs is the day they run the Stephen Foster. The Churchill Downs management has done a terrific job of really developing it into a very big day of racing. A lot of stakes racing action on the card. Unfortunately, it was marred by less than ideal weather conditions. We're going to get the day kicked off with the running of the Grade 3 Jefferson Cup for 3-year-olds on the turf. Let's head down to Churchill Downs and the running of the Jefferson Cup.
They're in the gate. Off and running in the Jefferson Cup. Good even start. Radiant Cat down at the hedge, breaking on top. Cool Conductor down the center of the course is right there with Mighty Military, who came away third. Up between horses, Terraplane Racing in fourth. Bojangles in the fifth spot now. More Burb on the far outside is racing in sixth. Prince Arch is down towards the hedge next. And they're followed up by Mighty Military on the inside. Then it's Capo second last, and Kitten's Joy the trailer, but just 7 lengths off the pace. Bunching up, rounding the first turn to the opening quarter down the straight in 24 seconds flat. Cool Conductor and Cornelio Velasquez striding clear by 2. Bojangles tracking second and neck. Mighty Military rides the hedge, racing in third. Terraplane settling down in mid-pack fourth. More Burb to that one's outside is racing in fifth now. Prince Arch, then Capo, and Kitten's Joy is advancing up into the race early. 3 wide at her Bailey, and Radiant Cat at the back of the pack now 9 lengths off the pace. Half mile in 49 seconds flat. Midway up the backstretch they continue. Cool Conductor leads it clear by 2.5 lengths now. Cool Conductor well clear. Here comes more Burb charging up to the outside of Bojangles now in the favorite Kitten's Joy in striking range. 3 wide the entire trip, but now just 3 lengths off the pace. Mighty Military bottled up at the moment on the inside. Terraplane in striking range, 3.5 off the pace. Capo moves 3 wide now, then Prince Arch and 7 back to Radiant Cat. At the back, 6 furlongs in 1:13 and 4, winding their way around the turn to the top of the lane at the quarter pole. Cool Conductor shaken up early by Cornelio Velasquez, cutting the corner nicely, leading it clear by 2. Kitten's Joy sets sail after that one in second. Prince Arch is up the inside in third. Whips out now on Terraplane. Capo on the far outside. Bailey cutting Kitten's Joy loose, and Kitten's Joy responding with authority, opening up 1.5 lengths. Prince Arch, a fresh challenger on the outside. Kitten's Joy, here comes Prince Arch on the outside. Prince Arch to the front. Prince Arch by a nose gets up to beat Kitten's Joy in an upset in the Jefferson Cup. Then 6 back.
Prince Arch finally turns the tables on his rival Kitten's Joy, who is arguably the leading 3-year-old turfer in the United States heading into this race. Both of them rallied very dramatically. At the end, it was Prince Arch by ahead at 5.5 to 1 over the odds-on choice Kitten's Joy. Cool Conductor, who had made the running every step of the way on the yielding surface, held on well to finish third. The winner, Prince Arch, is a 3-year-old bay son of Arch from Princess Chris by Chris. Bred in Kentucky by Pine Lake Bloodstock Limited, owned by Raymond Cottrell Sr. and trained by Ked McPeak. Ridden to victory by Brice Blanc, Prince Arch covers the 1 1/8 on the yielding turf surface at Churchill in 1:50 and 3. We're going to head right back to Churchill Downs now for the running of the Grade 3 Northern Dancer. This race earned graded status for the first time this season. It's a $200,000 mile and a 16. Nice race for a little bit of a later developing 3-year-old. Let's head down to Churchill in the running of the Northern Dancer.
All in line. Off and running in the Northern Dancer. Quick start for Suave, who broke right on top and joined by 2 down Automatic on J-Town on the outside is right there, flashing good speed. Ecclesiastics moving up between horses. Texas Deputy next on the inside, then Shiniko down towards the rail to save some ground as Indian War Dance is fanned out 5 wide, and Courageous Act is moving up into the race early. Length and a half farther back to Grande's Grand Slam, then 2 back to Ascertain. At the back of the pack, Grand Prospect trails on to the backstretch. They wheel a dozen lengths front to back. The quarter solid in the slot, 23 and 3. J-Town and Pat Day opening opening up by 2. Suave second, 2 down, Automatic racing third. Courageous Act and Indian War Dancer stride for stride. 4th and 5th now. Ecclesiastic down on the inside. Do you find the back to Shaniko, followed by Texas Deputy now, then Chippewa Trail. Behind that, Grande's Grand Slam is 10 lengths off the lead. Now they're 5 on the back to Grand Prospect and 5 more to ascertain. At the back of the pack now, 20 front to back with a half to go. The opening halftime, 47 and 2/5 seconds. Around the far turn, Pat Day and J-Town, a length and a half in front. Suave second by a half now. 2 down, Automatic scrubbed on a bit in third. Behind that comes Courageous Act with 5 to make up. Indian War Dance under pressure on the outside. Ecclesiastic making up some ground along the inside, followed by Shaniko, 3 wide now. And in behind that comes Chippewa Trail and 2 back to Grande's Grand Slam, who starts to mount a rally from the back of the pack. They turn for home. J-Town shaken up a bit by Pat Day, but still there. J-Town a length and a half clear. Suave put to a full-out drive. They get to him second. 2 down, Automatic on the outside is driving also third by 3 more. They're followed by Ecclesiastic, who comes on up the inside. Chippewa Trail. Here comes Suave striking the front. Suave hits the front past the 16th pole and goes clear from J-Town. And Suave drawing away. Suave wins the Northern Dancer, going away nearly 3. J-Town second, Ecclesiastic, and 2 down, Automatic.
Suave getting the victory here. Last seen running 12th in the Coolmore Lexington. Prior to that, he did hit the board in the Illinois Derby, and here gets this first stakes victory of his career by 3, allowed to go off at over 11-1. Obviously, that Coolmore Lexington performance was not representative of his best. A lot of people decided not to toss it out, and they did do so at their own peril. Early pace setter J-Town held on well to finish second as Ecclesiastic ran mid-pack and did rally well to finish third. The favorite in the field, 2 down, Automatic, who up until last Saturday held the honor of having finished closest to the then unbeaten Smarty Jones. 2 down, Automatic had run well behind him down at Oaklawn Park earlier on this year. The winner, Suave, is a 3-year-old bay son of AP Indy from Urbane by City Dancer, bred in Kentucky by Jan Mason, Samantha Siegel, owned by the Siegels JMS Stable and trained by Paul McGee. Ridden to victory by Rafael Bejarano, Suave covers the mile in a 16th and 1:44 and 2. We're going to head back onto the turf course now for the running of the Regret for 3-year-old fillies. This is a grade 3, $200,000. Let's head back to the turf course and the running of the Regret.
Off and running in the Regret. It's a good even start. Ginny's Gold busting out on top for the early lead from Western Ransom. Pretty Jane is right there. Sister Star came away racing a close-up 4th. Shadow Cast in the 5th spot to the outside now. Pretty Jane is dropped back at the hedge, followed by Gingham and Lace, who's wrangled back second last, and Baxter Hall is the trailer, passing the stands for the first time. Ginny's Gold and Mark Gidry setting the pace, leading at a length and a half in front of Sister Star in second, and Shadow Cast is third. Western Ransom down on the inside, saving ground in 4th. Pretty Jane at the hedge is 5th by a head. Gingham and Lace racing 6th, but just 4.5 lengths off the pace. They're well bunched. Get back to Baxter Hall, who trails. The opening quarter was 24 seconds flat, and on to the backstretch they wheel. It's Ginny's Gold setting the pace in front by a length and a half. Sister Star second by a neck, and Western Ransom third along the inside and biding her time now. And a length and a half farther back to Gingham and Lace, who's moving 3 wide to the outside of Shadow Cast. Down at the fence is Pretty Jane, and a length and a half farther back to Baxter Hall. At the back now, 6 lengths off the pace. They're still well bunched, the half mile in 49 and 3/5 seconds. Moving towards the far turn. Ginny's Gold a length in front now. Sister Star tracking right off her heels in second. Shadow Cast right there at danger on the outside third. Western Ransom on the inside racing in 4th. Gingham and Lace scrubbed on a bit by Bailey now. Next by 2 more to Baxter Hall and Pretty Jane at the back of the pack. 6 furlongs in 1:14 and 2. At the top of the lane, the race tightening up. They turn for home. Ginny's Gold quartering wide ahead in front now. Sister Star attacks to the outside. Rails open for Western Ransom along the inside. Whip comes out on Shadow Cast now. Down to the final furlong they come. Sister Star has taken the lead. Sister Star now a half a length in front of Ginny's Gold, and Sister Star, she boots away past the 16th pole and draws clear by 2. Sister Star, another winner for Brice Blanc. Sister Star going away to win the Regret by a widening 4. Western Ransom was up for...
Sister Star getting the victory here, making it a sweep on the turf on Saturday afternoon for Ken McPeak and Brice Blanc. Sister Star winning by 3 3/4 lengths at 8-1 over the favored Western Ransom, with Ginny's Gold, the pace setter, holding on to the 3rd spot. Earning her first stakes victory, Sister Star is a 3-year-old daughter of Langfure from Little Irish Nut by Irish Tower. Bred in Kentucky by John C. Marker, owned by the breeder and in partner and John and Julie Marker, trained by Ken McPeak and ridden to victory by Breeze Blanc. Sister Star covers the 1 1/8 on the yielding turf surface in 1:51 and 2. We're going to continue now with stakes racing action for fillies and mares in the Grade 2 Fleur de Lis. This is older fillies and mares running for a $400,000 purse. Let's head to Churchill in the running of the Fleur de Lis.
All set. Off and running in the Fleur de Lis. Good start for Adoration up the inside. Yell broke right there with Aurora Motion, and there goes Angela's Love, the long shot, 4 wide of the outside. 2 back to Bare Necessity. She'll tuck in to save some ground. La Raisin trails, passing the stands. It's Aurora Motion. She's taking the lead early. Aurora Motion 3/4 in front of Adoration on the inside in second, and Angela's Love still right there, 3 wide in third. Yell in a good tracking spot, just 2 off the front runner, fourth by 5 more now to Bare Necessities. And La Raisin's at the back of the pack. On to the backstretch they wheel. The opening quarter solid. 23 1/5 seconds leading the way. Aurora Motion and Jerry Bailey. He gears her down to give her a breather now. A length and a quarter in front. Adoration doesn't want to go with her early. Second. Yell on the inside is third. Angela's Love is in the 4th spot, just 2 lengths off the pacemaker. 3 back to Bare Necessities. And La Raisin's at the back of the pack. 9 lengths off the pace. Up the backside they go. We'll check out the half-mile fraction. The half was 47 3. So up the backstretch. Aurora Motion got a bit of a breather. Leads a length in front. Adoration yet to tackle her under Victor Espinosa on the outside. Second, and Yell biding her time. She'll need some racing room at her. Pat Day at the rail in third. Long shot, Angela's Love scrubbed on early, racing fourth. Here comes Bare Necessities launching her rally from second last by 2. La Raisin's at the back of the pack, rounding the far turn. Now Aurora Motion in command, 3/4 in front. Adoration takes a crack at her from the outside. Second, Angela's Love in third. Bare Necessities uncorks her rally on the far outside. Yells under pressure along the inside. 3 back to La Raisin as they wind their way to the top of the lane. They turn for Aurora Motion. Bailey pulls out the stick, and he's collared by Adoration now. Angela's Love running huge on the far outside. Bare Necessities. Yell is put to a drive now. La Raisin closing ground. Down to the final from Adoration takes the lead. Adoration boots clear a length and a half now to Bare Necessities. La Raisin charging up the inside. It's Adoration in front by a length and a half to Bare Necessities. Adoration, Bare Necessities can't get to her. Adoration wins it. A patient ride by Victor Espinosa. Length in front of Bare Necessities. La Raisin finished up third.
Adoration picking up the victory here. Her first time on a sloppy track. The rains continued to fall in Louisville on Saturday, and Adoration obviously taking very nicely to it. She is well bred for the surface, although having been based in Southern California most of her career, she's not had the opportunity to race over it. Of course, last year's Distaff winner, in a bit of an upset that afternoon, has now come back to prove herself a pretty nice force in the older filly or mare division. She gets the victory over Bare Necessities with La Raisin back in the 3rd spot. Perfect stalking trip for Adoration right off the early pace of Aurora Motion, that one finishing 6th after setting the pace early. The winner, Adoration, is a 5-year-old bay mare, a daughter of Honor Grades from Sewing Lady by Key to the Mint. She was bred in Kentucky by Lucy Bassett, owned by Ammerman Racing Stable and trained by David Hoffmans. Ridden to victory by Victor Espinosa. Adoration covers the 1 1/8 on the sloppy Churchill surface in 1 minute, 52 seconds flat. We're going to head right back down to Churchill now for the big race of the day, of course, the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. Short field going in, only 6 horses. Nonetheless, most of them major Grade 1 stakes victors. Let's head down to Kentucky in the running of the Stephen Foster.
All in line. Off and running in the Stephen Foster picture perfect start. Peace Rules as expected out for the early lead, joined by Best Minister on the outside and second. Perfect Drift broke well. There goes Southern Image bulling his way up between and Midway Road. Moves up into third now. Colonial Colony at the back of the pack. A mile to go. It's Peace Rules setting the pace in front by nearly a length now. Midway Road and Southern Image stride for stride, second and third. A length and a half back to Best Minister, then Perfect Drift and Pat Day. They settle down early, just about 4 lengths off the pace. Forwardly placed today, and 5 back to Colonial Colony, who trails. Opening quarter 23 and 4. Wheeling on to the Churchill backstretch they go. Peace Rules in front by a length and a half. Midway Road second by Ed. Has Southern Image hemmed in at the moment. Length and a half farther back to Long Shot, Best Minister, and Perfect Drift and Pat Day now settling down 5 lengths off the pace, and 4 back to Colonial Colony at the back of the pack. Midway up the backstretch they continue. Peace Rules. Jerry Bailey has a nice grip on him. Half in 47 3/5 seconds leads it clear by a length and a quarter. Southern Image now sees some daylight and inches up second by Anecta. Midway Road racing in third, and they're followed up by Best Minister on the far outside. Then the closing Perfect Drift, and here comes Long Shot Colonial Colony from the back of the pack around the far turn. Peace Rules dictating the terms in front of length and a half. Long Shot Colonial Colony charging up in his second to the far outside. Southern Image being worked on. Midway Road backing up a little bit now. Perfect Drift launching his rally under Pat Day, and Best Minister at the back of the pack. They bunch up at the top of the lane in the Stephen Foster, and it's Peace Rules set down by Jerry Bailey. Clear shot for Southern Image. He's up to tackle him now. Southern Image burst of speed on by to take the lead. Colonial Colony running a huge race, and here comes Perfect Drift and Pat Day charging down the center of the track. Deep stretch at Southern Image. Victor Espinosa flailing away. Colonial Colony looking to charge a huge upset on the far outside. Colonial Colony striking the front. Southern Image kicking back. Southern Image, Colonial Colony, Southern Image, and Colonial Colony too close to call. A great stretch battle in 150-4 in the Stephen Foster.
Colonial Colony in the biggest upset of the weekend at 62-1, getting his nose in front of Southern Image. Perfect Drift back in the third spot. The race did set up beautifully for the lone closer in here. There was a fair amount of speed. It did anticipate a brisk pace. The pace was fairly sharp for the distance and the conditions, but Colonial Colony kept behind the pace in the early going by Rafael Bejarano, who earned his first Grade 1 victory here by a nose over the favored Southern Image. A very nice performance by this horse, who's prior to this, his biggest performance had been a second to 10 most wanted in the National Jockey Club Stakes. Colonial Colony is a 6-year-old gelded son of Pleasant Colony from Jen's Fashion by Northern Fashion. Bred in Kentucky by Chris Nolan, owned by Mr. Nolan's Lakeside Farm Limited, and trained by Howard M. Bintner Jr., who also earned his first Grade 1 stakes victory here in the Foster. Colonial Colony, ridden to victory by Rafael Bejarano, covers the 1 1/8 on the sloppy surface in 1 minute 50 and 2. One further stakes race on Churchill's card. As the rains kept falling, they did decide they were going to leave the opening verse on the yielding turf surface. This is the first running of the ungraded $100,000 opening verse on the turf. Let's head down to Churchill one more time for the running of the opening verse.
Off and running in the opening verse. Good even start. Majestic Thief on the inside of the front, joined by Restage down the center of the course. Restage gets ahead in front now. Then Hard Buckled Track off the top pairs, heels in third. Everything to Gain racing in fourth. Classic Par next on the inside, followed up by Senor Swinger at the back of the pack with Major Rhythm passing the stands for the first time. Majestic Thief at the hedge by ahead to Restage, applying some token pressure. Second, Hard Buck rides the rail in third by a length now. They're followed up by Everything to Gain racing fourth by 2 more. Senor Swinger in a tracking spot with 4 to make up, a gap of 2 back to Major Rhythm. At the back of the pack, Classic Par, the trailer, 9 lengths off the pace. Out of the backstretch they go. The opening quarter, 24 4/5 seconds. Majestic Thief, Cornelio Velasquez in front by a length to Restage racing second. Hard Buck bottled up at the fence in third. Everything Again's racing fourth by 2 to Senor Swinger, closing some ground now. Then Major Rhythm second last, and Classic Par is at the back of the pack now, 10 lengths off the pace with a half mile to go. Opening halftime was 50 2/5 seconds, moving towards the far turn, and still up front it's Majestic Thief just ahead as Restage turning up the pressure from second. Hard Buck looking for an opening along the inside. Everything to Gain has him hemmed in. Senor Swinger on the move, 3 wide. Classic Par closing up from the back now, and Major Rhythm at the back of the pack. The race tightening up at the quarter pole. They turn for home in the opening verse, and it's Majestic Thief opening up by a length now. Restage trying to hang with him. Hard Buck has found his seam if he's good enough. Everything to Gain is next, and Senor Swinger charging on the outside with Classic Par. Down to the final furlong, wide open. Majestic Thief short lead. Here comes Senor Swinger. Senor Swinger finds another gear and strikes the front. Senor Swinger, Hard Buck gets rolling late. Senor Swinger beats him. Senor Swinger wins the opening verse by a length over Hard.
Senor Swinger, who does certainly love this track. He does run well over the turf at Churchill Downs. Draws clear by a length and a quarter over the heavily favored Hard Buck, with Majestic Thief, the early pace setter, holding on to the third spot. Hard Buck, in his first start off a very nice effort in Dubai last time out, was using this race as a prep race according to Ken McPeak, but did end up going off as the favorite. Nice try for him, but it looks like it should set him up for better performances down the road. Senor Swinger, who just loves this surface, getting yet another victory here in Kentucky. Senor Swinger is a gray or roan 4-year-old son of El Prado from Smooth Swinger by Chris S. Bred in Kentucky by Bob Ackerman and owned by Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, Bob and Beverly Lewis. Trained by Bob Baffert and ridden to victory by Pat Day. Senior Swinger covers the mile in a 16th on that yielding surface in 1:45 and 4. We're going to pause now for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at stakes racing action from Hollywood Park, heading home to Belmont as well. Please stay with us.
NYBreads.com, the online home of North America's best incentive program. The latest news, updated throughout the day, plus streaming video of New York bred stakes winners. Check out the New York bred leaderboards for jockeys, trainers, owners, and breeders. Want to become an owner or breeder? Well, the New York Thoroughbred Breeders section tells you about upcoming new owner seminars and farm tours. You'll even find an online sales section with horses you can purchase right now. There's a directory of New York State farms, a stallion registry, plus up-to-date sales information complete with hip numbers and pedigree pages. Thinking of breeding your mare? First go to nybreds.com and run a hypothetical mating with any registered New York-based stallion. And finally at nybreds.com, you'll see why the New York Breeding and Racing Program is North America's best, with over $40 million a year in purses, incentives, and awards. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now with stakes racing action from Hollywood Park. Kicking things off, the Charles Whittingham Memorial at 1.25 miles for older horses on the turf. Let's head out to Hollywood Park now in the running of the Whittingham.
They're up. Bayamo and Just Wonder got together and bounced off each other just a bit. They dropped back Continental Red and Sabiango to the front. Sabiango is the leader. Continental Red and Sane are second and third. Irish Warrior and Musical Chimes at the rail. Then comes Hawkeye, followed by Bayamo and Vangelis to the outside. Gasson Royal has two beat. They are Just Wonder, and the trailer is continuously, and the leader is Sabiango, and he is setting a tepid pace. Sabiango just gallops along in hand, 3/4 of a length. Continental Red tracks in second. Sane is close to the pace. He's third and a length and a quarter from the front. Then comes Musical Chimes. She had to tap on the brakes there just a bit for Kent D. He angled her to the 3-path, and Musical Chimes is 2.5 lengths off the lead. Hawkeye is outside of the filly. Irish Warrior secures a good running position. He's mid-pack, about 6.5 lengths off the lead. Vangelis and Bayamo have 8 to come. Gasson Royal will have to close into slow fractions, so will Just Wonder. And if continuously wins the 36 Whittingham, he'll be a beast today because Sabiango is in control up the backstretch. It is Sabiango now to extend his stride and his lead from California-bred millionaire Continental Red, who tracks in second for John Court. Musical Chimes, the filly, is now in striking position. She's 3 lengths off the lead. Sane is at the rail. Irish Warrior is between horses with 5 to come. Hawkeye outside of him. Bayamo makes his move from the back of the pack. He'll have to weave through between horses. Vangelis and Just Wonder have 8 to come continuously, and Gasson Royal at the back of the pack, and Sabiango's trying to win it right now. Sabiango goes to the quarter pole, and he is a solid 3 lengths in front. Bayamo runs a monster race and moves through into second. Musical Chimes and Continental Red have to go right now. Just Wonder is next, and they run to the top of the stretch. Irish Warrior has been pulled up. Sabiango comes to the final furlong. He still has to reach for the wire. Bayamo and Just Wonder trying to gun down Sabiango in the Whittingham. Sabiango is still there. Bayamo, Just Wonder, Sabiango a length and a quarter. Just Wonder, Bayamo, Sabiango! The 36 Charlie Whittingham Memorial Handicap goes in wire-to-wire fashion to Sabiango. Close for second, Just Wonder and Bayamo, maybe Vangelis for fourth.
Named for one of the great turf trainers, and it was a great training job to get Sabiango fit off of a 6-month layoff to return at 1.25 miles in Grade 1 company. But that is just what happened here as Bob Baffert sends out 15 or 13 to 1 shot Sabiango to take a gate-to-wire victory by 3/4 of a length over the late-moving Bayamo. Just Wonder, also rallying very strongly from off the pace, finished third after his rider Mike Smith did lose the whip late in the drive. The winner, Sabiango, is a chestnut 6-year-old son of a Cottonango from Spirit of Eagles by Bose Eagle. He was bred in Germany by the Stiftung Gestut Farhof. He is a multiple Group 1 winner in Germany. Last year, he did finish 4th in the Turf Classic at Belmont Park. After that, he did end up going overseas for a disappointing performance in Asia, but a very solid performance by him on the return here under Tyler Bays. Owned by Monty Roberts and trained by Bob Baffert, ridden to victory by Tyler Bays, Sabiango covers the 1.25 miles on the Hollywood turf course in 2:01 and 2. We're going to return to Hollywood Park now for the running of the Hollywood Breeders' Cup Oaks, a Grade 2 for 3-year-old fillies. Let's head back to California, the running of the Hollywood Oaks.
They're at the post. They're off. Class Above broke a stride slow. House of Fortune and Elusive Diva smartly into stride. Class Above recovers at the rail to run up to be a close third. M.A. Fox and Hollywood Story at the back of the pack, and House of Fortune is the leader at the clubhouse turn. It is House of Fortune, and she's doing it well. To the backside, she leads by 2 lengths from Longshot Elusive Diva in second. Class Above now has to sit third after that tardy beginning. She's tugging at David Flores, tucked in at the rail 3rd and 2 from the front. M.A. Fox is 4th. She's got 3 lengths to make up, and Hollywood Stories at the back of the pack. There's 5.5 furlongs to run in the 59th Hollywood Breeders' Cup Oaks, and House of Fortune. No excuses for her. She is comfortable up front from Elusive Diva, 3/4 of a length back in second. Now, Hollywood Story from the back of the pack is going to make her move just outside of M.A. Fox and Class Above. 3 lengths from first to last. They're at the half-mile pole. House of Fortune continues to lead. She's a measured neck in front of Elusive Diva, who continues to press in second. House of Fortune rides the rail and once again leads 3/4 of a length. Class Above is at the rail. M.A. Fox is 4th, and Hollywood Story is 5th and last. She's in the 3-path and 3.5 lengths from House of Fortune and Elusive Diva, who's right alongside. Elusive Diva and Tyler Bass put half ahead in front. House of Fortune has to battle back at the rail, and Elusive Diva is trying to spring a monster upset in the Oaks. House of Fortune is next. Then comes Hollywood Story, but she's still got 3 to come. And M.A. Fox and House of Fortune says, "Oh, no, you don't," to the long shot. And House of Fortune suddenly opens up 3. Elusive Diva ran the race of her life, but it's second best to House of Fortune, who runs them right off their feet. House of Fortune won by 3. Elusive Diva, great second.
House of Fortune, a very nice return race off of a disappointment in the Kentucky Oaks. She did finish 8th that day. I watched her very closely as she was my top choice that afternoon. She didn't handle the off-going at Churchill that day, but she returns victorious here with a front-running 3-length effort over Elusive Diva, coming in off of a sprint try, a victory in the Railbird last time out. Hollywood Story makes her usual off-the-pace rallying move into the 3rd spot. The winner, House of Fortune, is a 3-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of Free House from So Fortunate by Garthorne. California bred by John Treasure, owned by Arnold Zetcher and trained by Ron McAnally, ridden to victory by Alex Solis. House of Fortune covers the mile in a 16th and 1:41 and 2. One more stakes race to bring you from Saturday at Hollywood Park, the Californian, a Grade 2 for the older horses, going 1 mile and an 1/8. Let's head to Hollywood Park one more time for the running of the Californian.
They're off. Knows the Trade, hard sent by Alex Solis. Ender's Shadow just a bit quicker, though, and those two go very fast early. Buckland Manor and to the outside, Total Impact. Even the score is going to be 4 wide at the clubhouse turn. Gift of the Eagle tucked right in behind the leaders. Then comes Mudshark, and the early trailer is Longshot Gene de Campeo as they turn to the backstretch. 17-year-old Mick Ruiz will set the fractions with Ender's Shadow, 3/4 of a length in front of Buckland Manor in second, as Knows the Trade has now backed off, and he'll race alongside both Gift of the Eagle and Total Impact. Total Impact is 3 deep and 2.5 lengths off the lead. Even the score has now secured a good running position. He is 6th at this point, about 5 lengths from the front. Mudshark has 8 lengths to make up, and then it's 8 lengths last to Gene de Campeo as they race midway on the backstretch in the 51st Californian, and it's still Ender's Shadow trying to go it all the way. Buckland Manor and Total Impact peck away at him at the half-mile pole. Ender's Shadow only a half length in front. Total Impact makes his move up into second. Buckland Manor comes under a ride. He's about to lose third to Knows the Trade, who's tightly at the rail. Then comes Even the Score and Gift of the Eagle. They move as a team within 3 of the lead. 5 back to Mudshark. Gene de Campeo is the trailer, and Ender's Shadow is still there. But he's got 2 fresh challengers, Total Impact and a 3 wide Even the Score. And here comes Even the Score, and he is traveling beautifully to come challenge for the lead. Gift of the Eagle is next. Knows the Trade has 3 to come, and we have a new leader in the Californian. His name is Even the Score, and he takes charge. It is Even the Score, a length and a half in front. Total Impact and Ender's Shadow left, back, second and third. Knows the Trade is 4th, and Even the Score is straight and strong in the Californian. He's 3 in front. Total Impact is 2nd. Even the Score, yes. Even the score on to the Hollywood Gold Cup.
Even the score, getting the victory here, his second consecutive graded stakes victory, and in fact running his record to 2 for 3 since arriving in the care of Vladimir Serin. He did win the Mervyn Leroy last time out with a very similar far turn bid, making a huge move on the turn to victory here by 3.5 lengths as the odds-on choice over Total Impact with Nose the Trade, showing a good stalking trip early and fading to finish third. The winner, Even the Score, is a gray or roan 6-year-old son of Unbridled Song from Ashtabula by Rahi. He was bred in Kentucky by the Inspiration Stable. He's owned by Rosendo Para, trained by Vladimir Serin, and ridden to victory by David Flores. Even the Score covers the 1 1/8 of the Californian in 1 minute 47 and 3. Pair of stakes races to take a look at now from Belmont Park over the weekend, beginning on Saturday with the running of the Brooklyn Handicap, a grade 2 for older horses. Let's head down to Belmont and the running of the Brooklyn.
And they're off. Angelic Aura is racing immediately to the front, but Seattle Fitz has some early speed on the inside. Congrats away in good order and is right up there and on the pace and moving to second now. Seattle Fitz settles back down toward the Raley's third. Gander moves up early on, and then farther back it's Newfoundland, and the early trailer will be Dynaver. Dynaver is about 7 lengths from the lead. Angelic Aura has remained well off the rail. Plenty of room now for Seattle Fitz to quarter in 23 2/5 seconds. Angelic Aura, third just outside of Congrats. Gander was up close just a moment ago, but despite the efforts there of Aaron Grider, is tailed off near the back of the pack. Dynever remains about 8 lengths from the front. A duel intensifying between Seattle Fitz and Newfoundland into the far turn. They ran a half there in a testing 45-1, and they take their battle past the half-mile pole with Seattle Fitz in front now by a half a length. Newfoundland, though, right with them, second on the inside. 7 lengths back, and Dynever now is finding his best stride, moving through on the inside of Congrats. There's 3 furlongs to go. 3/4 in a grueling 8 2. They're coming to the top of the stretch, and Seattle Fitz shakes off Newfoundland, but Dynever rolls up on the outside as the field comes off the turn and into the stretch. It's Seattle Fitz driving on the lead by a length and a half. Dynever targets him as they come past the 8th pole. Newfoundland comes up gasping in the final furlong, but it's still Seattle Fitz, and he is determined. Dynever right on the outside, 100 yards from home. Seattle Fitz and Dynever on the wire. Seattle Fitz with a gritty performance here to fight off Newfoundland and hold off Dynever to win the Brooklyn. Finishing third was Newfoundland. The final time was 1:46.1.
Seattle Fitz getting the victory here. He had been very impressive over the winter time down south. He did come up to New York, had a little bit of a disappointment in his last try. He was given a little bit of time off, returned very nicely here with a good effort to finish on top here by half a length over Dynever, whose rather confusing performance last time out was a little bit confounding that in the Pimlico Special. He tried to rally and came up very flat. According to the connections, he had some trouble with his feet coming out of that race, has trained on the turf in the interim. They did decide to give him another try on the main track, and he fell short by only a half length. Newfoundland, who's been training very sharply up here in Saratoga, ends up with the 3rd spot with an off-the-pace bid. The winner, Seattle Fitz, is a 5-year-old dark bay or brown son of Fitzcarraldo from Hugga Slough by Seattle Slough. Bred by Firmamento in Argentina and owned by the West Point Stable, trained by Kieran McLaughlin, and ridden to victory by Richie Migliori. Seattle Fitz covers the 1 1/8 of the Brooklyn in 1 minute 46.1. One more stakes race to bring to you from the weekend. That the Sands Point, a grade 3 for 3-year-old fillies going 1 1/8 on the turf course. Let's head back to Belmont and Sunday's running of the Sands Point.
And they're off. Mingay Cove, and there goes Please Take Me Out, who's racing for the early lead. And from the hedge, there goes Savage Beauty now. Savage Beauty up to grab the lead with her good speed and inside post. She's in front, but here comes Please Take Me Out, and well as her stablemate, Cherry's Hunter. So those 3 right up on the pace in the early going here. Fortunate Damsel hard held while 4th on the outside. Mingay Cove is now 5th. Vu in hand and racing in 6th. And then it's Mambo Sleuth 7th. Lucifer's Stone very eager, but
on hold early, 8th on the outside. And at the back of the pack early are Delta Sensation and Serendipitous. 24 seconds flat for the opening quarter. Down the back stretch, Cherry's Hunter is the leader now by a next. Savage Beauty right there, matching strides with her from the inside. Please Take Me Out third with 5 furlongs to go. And then it's Mingay Cove fourth toward the inside. Fortunate Damsel tugging her way up from 5th now. Lucifer Stone continues to run strongly, but continues to race well in hand. 6th with 4 furlongs to go here. Then farther back, Mambo Slew, who's down toward the inside, followed by Vu, who's now spurred on and asked for a bit more run. Then it's Serendipitous and Delta Sensation. Around the far turn, Savage Beauty's got a short lead. Lucifer Stone revving up and coming on 4 wide now. Please Take Me Out as Cherry's Hunter checks out of it. Mingay Cove down toward the inside, ready to roll now. Fortunate Damsel is there. And Delta Sensation charging down the center of the racetrack. Lucifer Stone has come away with the lead. Delta Sensation coming up on the far outside. In between horses, Fortunate Damsel and Mambo Slew is flying down at the fence. They're coming down to the finish. Here comes Mambo Slew. Lucifer Stone trying to hold on. Mambo Slew gets it. With a bit of daring do there by Edgar Prado to win it. Lucifer Stone was second, a 3-way photo for third.
Mambo Slew and Edgar Prado. This is why Edgar Prado has got the reputation for being such a very talented rider. Took back this 3-year-old filly, wove through traffic, was not afraid to go to the inside, and ended up with a neck victory over the favored Lucifer Stone, who ran a very nice performance to finish in the 2nd spot. Longshot Vu, finishing in the 3rd spot after a stumbling start, made a nice bid at 16-1 and did not fall short by all that much. The winner, Mambo Slew, won a Grade 3 as a 2-year-old out in California. Began her season with a win in the Blue Norther, but had come a cropper in her last couple of starts here. Ships East gets Edgar Prado and the 5-1 victory. Mambo Slew, a 3-year-old daughter of King Mambo from Slew Boyera by Seattle Slew. She was bred in Kentucky by the FJFM Limited, owned by Frank Manganaro and trained by Pat B. and Cohn. Pulls off an upset, unfortunately, over the local horse Lucifer Stone, who still ran very, very well in defeat. Mambo Slew, ridden to victory by Edgar Prado on the firm turf course at Belmont Park, stopping the clock in 1 minute 47-1. That's going to wrap up our program for the week. Thank you very much for joining us for this week's edition of Horses and Courses. We hope you'll be able to join us once again next time. Until then, I'm Jean Wood. Have a great week at the races.